As an hourly employee in California, have you ever been asked to wait before clocking in for work? Have you ever had communications with your boss outside of normal work hours, but you weren't paid for it? Have you ever had to walk through a security checkpoint or a health screening checkpoint before being allowed to clock into work? Have you ever been asked to report to work, show up on time, wait around to clock in, and then be told to go home that you weren't needed for the day without being paid for your time? These are just a few ways that your employer can be stealing your wages from you. From restaurants to car washes, retail to the construction trades, over $2 billion is lost every year in wages that are owed to workers. You may be a victim and not even know it. California workers who are the victims of wage theft and who earn less than the minimum wage lose on average $4,250 per year. For these low-income earners, this can mean struggling to pay their rent and other basic life necessities. The industries that see the greatest number of claims regarding wage theft include healthcare, including nurses, retail workers, hotels, bars, restaurants, janitorial, warehouse, manufacturing, construction, and car wash workers. Here are some examples of wage theft, followed by what you can do if you're a victim. Examples of wage theft can include when your employer fails to pay you the minimum wage. Another example is when an employer fails to provide you with your earned commissions. It can include forcing you to work through your lunches and breaks without any compensation. It can include when an employer doesn't pay you for a split shift or working 2 shifts in one day. It happens when your employer doesn't allow you to use your sick time or paid time off. It can take the form of when an employer bounces your paycheck and doesn't reimburse you for the costs of it. It happens when an employer confiscates your tips that you have earned. Another example is when an employer forces you to work off the clock. When an employer fails to reimburse you for work-related expenses that were incurred in order for you to do your job. When an employer forces you to wear a company-branded logoed uniform and does not reimburse you for the maintenance of that uniform. When an employer fails to give you your timely final paycheck or doesn't give you your final paycheck at all. When an employer denies you your meal and rest breaks. Another common example that I've seen in my practice is when an employer engages in an unfair rounding practice that benefits the employer over the employee, and when an employer doesn't pay you for the overtime that you work. If you believe that you have been a victim of wage theft, you do have options. You can either 1, file a claim on your own with the LWDA, or 2, you can reach out to an experienced employment law attorney to discuss your claims. If you decide to work with an attorney, that person will also explore with you whether you have any overlapping discrimination and/or retaliation claims as well. If you're in California and you're having problems getting all of your wages from your employer, please feel free to reach out directly to me so that we can discuss your options. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like it. If you know anyone that could benefit from this video, please forward it on to them. If you'd like to learn more about employment law issues, please subscribe to my channel. I appreciate you listening today, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.